Okay, our quick little project today is there's a 100-foot long, 120-foot long ditch. There's a bunch of trees in it, and now it's all rutted up. It's kind of falling apart, so there is a power line that runs right through here. So I'm just gonna get this kind of cleaned up, and it's kind of like normal ditches. I don't know if I have enough length here. Nope. Yeah, but it'd be just a little bit closer. But the grass is kind of getting up above the road, so it's holding water on the road. And it's not something you normally want, so there should be a culvert in here somewhere too, but I'm trying to reach kind of right to the road. The reason I'm not doing this with a skid steer or a dozer is this ditch is pretty severe. It's not easy. You really just can't drive in here with a skid steer or a dozer. So I'm using the Engcon grading box. I'm going to dump all the dirt as much as I can over here. There should be a culvert right here. Try not to cut. There should be another one somewhere too. Everything's getting covered up. Flow's starting to get cut back. There's some old silt fence. I can't remember if that culvert across the street comes to this one, or if it. Yep, there's a culvert. So you couldn't even hardly tell it was even there. That's how bad. That's how bad this is overgrown. It actually looks like it's pointing the other way. Grade box comes in handy though, because it's kind of use it as a little work. Wow, that's grown over a lot. Okay, so that explains why I can't find one on the end. It cuts over on an angle. Cuts over on an angle across the street, going that way. So you couldn't even hardly tell that was there. So we're gonna get this cleaned all up. So I'll probably have to do 2 passes. I'm gonna have to probably go through and do this far side, and then I'm gonna have to come back and do the closer edge. So that is right about where the road is. I'm trying to kind of take that right down and clean it. This is kind of I think the trickiest piece to use out of all the Engcon attachments, because you really got to have your angles kind of dialed in. You got a lot that you're moving. You know, normally with the rotator or the bucket, you know, you can usually kind of stay, but you're trying to keep that grade cut. You're lifting, twisting, and turning a little bit to keep it all working. All right. So I don't know if you can see that, but that grass right where I'm starting to cut is, you probably can't see that. I don't even know how to even ask that. It's probably 4 inches above the road. So a lot of that water is staying on the road, which is not what you want. Let's see if that back part can cut it. Yep. Yeah, there was a couple about 20-foot trees that grew up through here. So I just pulled those out of here, pulled some some of the bushes, some of the overgrowth of that. Got that all pulled out, and then it made kind of a mess of the grass. And then again, I didn't know how these culverts were even functioning because a lot of it's covered up. This is all pretty good other than in this straight by the road. There we go. But this is, I think this is where this grade box comes in the handiest. We do have a we do have a 5-foot grading bucket, but I'd say that really the only big advantage, I'd say, with the grade box is that it at least has the roller on the back. So, and it usually does a better job of not, it's kind of a catch, you know, you're scooping material, but really what you're trying to do is actually grade it. You're not trying to collect a ton of material. Maybe the bucket would work better on this, but kind of feel like for this project, this grade box is going to be our better tool. It just shaves it nice. And then the other thing that we like, if you have an angle, we're going to be kind of dropping in like 300 yards on a driveway that's been there for a long time. He doesn't like the slope of it. He's still not, it's a long story, but he's still not really going to be able to mow it, but he was really wanting to mow it. But he has, on the edge of his driveway, his neighbor's property is right there. So, and he just had a driveway put in, and it's pretty well established. So if we went and tried to put his driveway in with the other driveways already established, it's pretty much going down to his neighbor's property line, and there really wouldn't be a way for us to grade it. So what we're gonna do is this right here. We're gonna bring in all this clay, kind of fill that in, then we're gonna throw some topsoil over it. And then when we throw the topsoil over it, we're gonna use this grade box to kind of pack it in. And the reason I say the grade box is, yeah, the grade box is gonna level it, but you also end up with the roller, which is not a compactor roller. It looks like it when you're watching it on a video that it could actually be compacting too. It's not. It's just a roller that rolls basically because it's touching the ground. So still works good. It's just not a compactor. When I saw videos of this originally like 6-7 years ago, I thought, oh man, that's pretty cool having a compaction wheel right on the edge, but that is not what it is. Like I said, the only risk on this one is we've scanned this power line that I'm sitting over top of, and it's, know it's a good 2.5 feet down, but you can't ever really guarantee it. So once I get this part dug, like I said, I'll back up, move over to my left about 20 feet, and then we'll just try to roll this up the slope. actually my shop. And we bought the 40 acres next to our shop to do other plans. And the 40 acres already has, well, not all 40. This originally was going to be a modular subdivision. So you can see the driveway. The driveway goes around that. Trucks parked back there. There's a cul-de-sac. This was, again, all supposed to be a modular subdivision many years ago. But it went bankrupt in '08. Another guy owned it. We owned 5 acres, or actually 8 acres over kind of by the highway. And worked out a deal with him to buy this property. So yeah, this was all going to be a subdivision. So we have no idea why the ditches are so extreme. But it is designed. I mean, I do know this whole property where all the road is located. I mean, I do know that it's designed to all drain to this huge drainage area. It drops probably about 40-50 feet over to my left. So obviously it was probably an elevation thing, but Engcon just comes in so handy. Just a tilt rotator in general. But ditch. Starting to rain. Yeah, get this all spread before this turns into a gooey mess. But the Engcon comes in handy just because I'm not perfectly square with this ditch. I know we got some really good like drainage guys by us that, you know, they're always perfectly square, and you know, they don't have to make the ditch look pretty, but yeah, you can definitely do it with a regular bucket. But it's nice not having to worry about whether or not you're square, and if you don't like how a little section turned out, you can just kind of sit on an angle and make whatever angle work. Kind of like this here. We're going to see if we can curve this. So yeah, you can't really cut, but you can manipulate the dirt pretty good. One little spot you can tell where water runs down through there, so I'm going to cut this just a little bit more, make sure that water is actually flowing down in there. Alright, so ditch is cut. Pull this off. That's what makes it look like it's no, you can't see it now. The window must not be shut all the way. But that's what makes you think that the rotiller or the roller on that is slide, because it's just spinning freely. But got this ditch cut. Culvert's actually there, goes over there. That's completely filled with dirt, so I'm gonna get that shoveled out. But I'm gonna take this berm real quick of all this dirt. See if I can get over here where you can see it a little bit better. Probably about 3 foot of dirt piled up here. I'm gonna take this one more time, pull this out, and then take the dozer and grade this out.